Welcome to this presentation about Year 8 Expressive Arts course preferences. We're going to go through each slide and explain the key things that you need to keep in mind when making these decisions over the next week or so. So, the presentation is to explain the expressive arts subject choices that are available and the implications of those preferences that are shown. I'll explain the timelines that we need to do this within and the process for resolving issues that might arise. It's worth saying that we try to be as fair as possible and get as many students as possible their first preference, but we cannot guarantee first preferences in all subjects and in all cases. So the choices that your student that your son shows are going to have an impact on what they're able to study at GCSE. So we need to think carefully when allocating first, second and third preferences, because it may be that I need to allocate a subject that could be lower down, and so you need to be thinking about what subjects you would potentially consider doing at GCSE before allocating a preference. We can't always predict how many students are going to opt for each subject, so it's important to show as many preferences as possible within the preferences that you are allowed. So the choice available is essentially two subjects from the list, as you can see on the screen. The form that I'm going to send you in an email and also to put on the website is going to allow you to show a preference of those five subjects. So it will allow you to rank them 1 to 5, but you will be allocated 2 of those 5. So it's important that you think about which of those you like the best and that you're going to get the best grade in. Any subject that you don't study in Year 9, you will miss too much learning to be able to do that at GCSE. So these subjects are important now, and you have to understand that we can't always make sure that everybody gets their first and their second preference. So think about the subjects that you would be willing to study at GCSE and keep in mind that any that you don't study in Year 9, you would then not be able to do those subjects at GCSE. So on the form, as I've already said, you're going to show a rank order of preference, and we can't guarantee first choices. So how should you choose? Students should talk to teachers and their form tutor to see what they think their progress is like and if they think that a certain subject should be suitable. Teachers will not ever say you can't do a subject or you must do a subject, but they will give you an indication based on your progress so far on how well suited you are for certain subjects. Think about what you enjoy, because what you enjoy you will inherently make a good effort at, and so that is always going to be preferable to certain other ways that you might choose. And think about what you're good at. Think about what expressive arts are you getting consistently good grades in or the best grades in, because those ones are going to lend themselves to you, because success also then breeds enjoyment because you're enjoying what you're doing. So it's always best to think, what do you enjoy most and what are you best at? Finally, consider subjects that you might be thinking about taking on to a career or at higher study, maybe at A-level or GCSE, or even at university level. So think about those things when you're making your choices. Now there's two things which I always say you mustn't use as factors, and that is friends in the group that you're in at the moment and the teachers that you like or don't like now. Both of those things are very poor ways to make your choices, because firstly, we can't guarantee that all of your friends will choose the same subjects as you, and even if they did, they might be in different groups and there might not be enough space in those groups, and so we might have to reallocate certain students. So choosing something because your friends are in it is never a sure way to succeed. And secondly, the teacher that you have this year may not be the teacher that you have next year, and it's a much better criteria to use inherent intrinsic love for a subject as the criteria to choose it, rather than the teacher who is teaching you, which can change from year to year. Teachers change jobs, teachers may not be on that group that year, so it's not a good way to choose your subject. So the timeline that we're going to go through on Thursday, the 16th of June, which is also the day that this presentation will appear on the website, there will be an online form that you can click on, and you can go to that form, enter your son's details, and show 5 preferences in order, in rank order. We're going to then allow 10 days. So a week the next Tuesday, I will then download all of those results into an Excel spreadsheet and start looking at how many people have selected each subject. So you will have 10 days to discuss this with your son and decide together what you think the best option is. If you make a mistake and you submit a form that is wrong, that's fine. Just submit another one, and I will always take the form that has the most recent date on it. So you can submit as many as you want of these up until the 28th of June. And just a reminder again that that form will go, it will be an electronic form, and it will go on the website as a link, and it will come out in an email communication to you from the school. If you would prefer a paper copy, you can email me and I'll share my email address at the end. In July, you'll get a letter towards the end of term confirming the subjects that your son has been allocated, and then if there are any issues as a result of that, we will deal with that in July. So just finally, as I said, if you have any questions about the procedure, or if you have an issue which means that you cannot access the online form and you wanted to send me a paper form, then please do use my email address and contact me on cbarker@nsb. Alternatively, if your son comes and talks to me in my office, I can print off a hard copy for them. So just make sure that you communicate to your son that he needs to come and talk to me in my office, and I'll print off a hard copy version.